Hi there, Joka here, and today I'm sharing my cards with the June large die kit from Spellbinders. So here's the kit. There's some fun strips in it, strip dies. As you can see here, there's 3 different sizes. One is a 1/4 inch, the other one is 1/2 inch, and then there's a 3/4. Then there's these circles, then also these sentiments that you can die cut directly in the panel or separately if you use those circle dies with them. And then there's this wave kind of thing that I will show you how it works. And today my color scheme is kind of retro inspired and masculine, because I keep getting messages and comments about no masculine cards, not particularly that I don't make them, but that also that Spellbinders should make more dies that are good for masculine cards, and I thought that these were perfect for that. So geometric shapes are always good, I think. Okay, so as you can see, okay, and this is what I said before, the sizes I already mentioned, but I'm just showing it here. And I die cut the circles from, I think they are called concentric circles, right? I die cut them from 6 colors, and then I mixed and matched them, so each big circle has all 6 colors. And I am creating a white background, but I didn't want it to be flat. I like my backgrounds to be textured if they have to be white. And in this case, I thought white is the best because then all these colors really pop. So I'm building the background here, and I'm not that great at math. I mean, I'm not super bad, but the way I calculated this, I'm just putting down 1 large, 1 mid-size, and then the narrowest size or like strip 3 times, and then I have space enough for 1 large and 1 small strip at the end. So it's not, it's not quite how should I say? Well, you can see here how the pattern is. It's not, I couldn't finish the whole pattern the way I wanted to, but I think it's still okay. But you can place them as you want. I think it's always gonna look great. And now I'm gluing down these circles onto a heavyweight cardstock because I want to, as you can see, I'm fussy cutting them out. I want to add some foam tape to them. So yeah. And then here are those waves that I was showing earlier, and basically you die cut 2 of them, and then you can turn them around so that they face each other, and then they will create this fun pattern here. And once I glued them together, I will figure out how to or where to place them on the background. And just make sure that you push those ends together so that there's no opening, because when I, as you can see here, there's still an opening when you just glue the 2 together. So make sure that you push those ends firmly together. And then, like I said, I'm adding some foam tape to the circles, and this card is almost done. I'm only going to add some sentiments to it, and I will be using sentiments from the new Truly Yours, I think it's called Truly Yours collection. It's called Mini Sincere Sentiments. These are Glimmer foil plates, and I actually created all these sentiments in a recent video where I shared some cards with the Truly Yours collection. So all the sentiments I'm using today, and I think also on the small die kit cards, are from this set. All right, now for the second card. I die cut some of these strips from all the different colors cardstock that I chose, and I'm putting glue all over this A2 size panel, and then I'm just kind of randomly adding these strips. I'm varying the size, or like the width of the cardstock, and also the color. So I'm adding this panel to my card base, and because this is a colorful panel, I wanted to add some white details to it. And I didn't really know what I want to do with it, but I wanted to use this happy birthday sentiment. There's 3 different sentiments in the die set. But then I decided to layer them up instead and just have one sentiment, and then I'm going to use the same circle die as before, but just white, and I will add circles all over the background, or kind of like from top to bottom, and then some of them I will just use one circle, for some of them 2, you know, just so that it's a bit random, not all repetitive and the same, just for some interest, I should say. I'm layering up the these 3 die cuts, and yeah, I have to clean it up a little bit with my tweezers here because the glue is oozing out. I cannot, you know, put just so like a tiny bit of glue on it, so I have to clean this up a little bit. And then I also decided, even though this circle has the happy birthday sentiment, I also decided to add a foiled sentiment, and no real reason. I just wanted to have like a gold foiled element to it. Yeah, and now I'm just gluing down my circles. And if you want to make sure that the circles are in the right spot, then just use some of the other layers to help you guide you, or just eyeball it. That's also fine. Don't have to be very, you know, particular about it. All right, and once I glue these down, I really only have the sentiment left to add, and then this card is ready as well. And all of these cards in this video, and also in the small die kit video, I kept them very simple. I mean, maybe it's not what you call a simple card, but still there's no embellishments, is what I mean. Normally I add, you know, enamel dots or some kind of embellishments, and on these ones there's nothing, because I thought, okay, masculine, then better keep it simple. Now for my third card, I die cut circles from 6 colors, but then all of them twice, because I want to have 12 circles on my background. This time I'm not going to be using that wave. I don't know what that shape is called. I'm just calling it a wave, like I did on my first card. And I'm creating 6 of the same circles twice, just so that I have a little bit of I don't know how I should put this. It's not that I want to have a repetition, but I just wanted to have some, you know, not so random that all 12 would be different. Again, I'm doing the same thing as before. I'm gluing down these circles onto heavyweight cardstock. Now I'm not going to add I'm not going to add any foam tape, because these 12 circles will fit an A2 card base exactly. So it's going to be kind of snug. And if I add foam tape, they kind of could hang off the edge, you know. All right, so again, I don't want a simple background. Just I wanted to add some texture to it, so I'm doing exactly the same thing as on the first card. And I actually will add these strips exactly the same way as on the first card. So I will have large, then middle, then smallest size 3 times. And then at the end, I'm going to have the large and the small size, and that's exactly 5.5 inches. And this, you know, maybe, well, you can see it in the video as well, but it just adds a fun element to the card. I really like how that looks. And then I will arrange these 12 circles in a way that the first 6 colors are at the top, and then the next 6, like the next batch, is at the bottom. So but then I kind of mix the colors so that they are not in the exact same position as the top batch, you know, just so that it's a bit random, so to say. Yeah, and then I'm just gluing these circles down with my ATG, and I will add a sentiment to this, and then it's done. But for to do this time, I'm not using a foam tape, but I'm actually using the die to die cut some more of these banners, and I'm layering them up to create an element that's like a chipboard, because you know my background is not flat. So if I add foam tape to it, then my sentiment is not going to be flat, because the foam tape is kind of, yeah, it's foam, so you know, it's not a very solid piece. And you'll see this is really thick now, and I will glue it down in 3 places where it touches the circle, so it's not actually on the background. Okay, now for the last card, whenever I have strips of paper, I kind of want to do paper weaving. So this is not something I haven't done before. So I actually have done this several times, but not recently. So I thought it would be a good idea to do this. And I'm kind of doing like a loose woven piece, so they are not pushed together like I normally do, because I wanted the white background to peek through. So now I'm just trying to figure out the arrangement, how I want the colors to be, how I want the you know, the width of the strips to be, because I want it to have kind of a random pattern there. And once I figure that out, I am going to well, first I'm going to create the card base, and this is just a white panel, which I always add to my card base, because I normally don't use the Nina cardstock for card base. I find that it's too precious for that, too expensive too. So I just use the panel. And now you will see that I'm adding, once I'm adding a strip to the right and then to the bottom, just so that it's going to hold, the whole thing is gonna, you know, be in one. How should I explain this? Oh my god, it's 3 a.m. and my brain is a bit foggy. Anyway, so that it's easier to keep it together. So once you add one to the right, one to the, you know, going down from top to bottom, and as you can see, you always go first you go over and then you go under. So basically you just weave it. It's really simple. I'm sure you see the pattern, or you probably already know how to do this. And I'm just gluing down the end pieces I'm not adding glue in the middle. That's okay, it's gonna hold together. But I have to keep rearranging everything just so that it's not crooked. Well, as much as possible. It's not gonna be perfect, but you know, handmade rarely is. And once I'm done with the top part, I'm going to turn this around and check the bottom as well, because there's still gonna be some pieces that have to be glued down. And now that I'm done with this, I will add some, this is like a temporary glue, because I want to trim this off, but I will want to add some foam tape for dimension. But I did not want to add the foam tape first and then trim it off, because it's harder when you have some dimension. It's harder to place your scissors next to the to the panel and to trim it off at the same length, so to say. I don't know if that any of it makes sense. Usually I have to see things to understand. All right, so I'm adding foam tape to all of these strips, even the slim ones, and then I'll add this to the background. And somehow, I mean, I did like the pattern, but somehow some of these white strips bothered me, that they kind of looked too wide. So I decided to come in with more colors and more strips, just for fun and some, you know, just to add something else. And I'm not going to do a full panel here, like so I'm not going to place another strip over everything at the bottom, just a few of them. And then I will do exactly the same thing as before. I will glue these together, and yeah, and then I'm going to glue them on top of the previous one. And this time I'm not going to use foam tape, because this is not very solid, like not sturdy, because it's not the whole panel, just a few strips, so this wouldn't really hold up well. So I am just going to add some ATG glue. I did not want to use liquid glue either, in case, I don't know if it's visible, or I did not want to mess it up. So I just used my ATG to glue the whole thing down. And yeah, here I was, I had to keep checking if it's still kind of straight. I mean, this really wasn't perfect, but yeah, as much as possible, I wanted to have them straight on each strip at the bottom. And now that I added the ATG glue, I'm going to add this to the top, and then I will trim these down as well. I have to clean it up a bit, because the ATG is a 1/4 inch. So on these strips, the slim ones, I was not able to go all straight. So those parts I had to clean up there. All right, and then this background is done, and I will only be adding a sentiment. And here I'm again doing the same thing as before. I am creating this dimensional chipboard looking piece, because again, my background is not the same level. And in fact, because if you can see from here, on that wider red strip, I did not add an extra layer. So I will add a tiny bit of paper behind the sentiment there, just so that it's on the same level as the other strips that it touches. So if that makes sense, now that you can see what I'm doing. And then I can, glue it all down, and it's gonna be nice and level. Okay, so these are the cards. I hope that you can use some of these ideas for masculine cards. I think these colors are really fun for for your men in your life. Anyway, I hope you got any kind of inspiration from this. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.